Hello and welcome to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton and we come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, we are back to doing live speeches again, and it's just wonderful. And it is just heartwarming, the number of people in the audience that tell me they listen to AM 590, The Answer, and never miss my show. I am thrilled to hear that. This show is brought to you by an organization called Million Kids, MILLION, millionkids.org. We are an organization that's centered out of Riverside, California, although we do speak all across the United States in training law enforcement and code enforcement, social workers, first responders like fire departments, and therapists and people like that about human trafficking of all kinds, sextortion, social media exploitation, sex trafficking, labor trafficking, and even some what we call CSAM, child sexual abuse material, formerly known as child pornography. Like everything else in California, they seem to be renaming everything. They're trying to turn that into MAPS, minor attracted persons. I find that just downright disgusting, quite frankly. But anyway, we are known for our years and years and years of research on these subjects. And it is all we can do to stay up with what is happening in our society on these subjects. I sometimes find myself feeling like I live in a fog. Nothing seems clear anymore. I don't know about you, but I remember when girls were girls and boys were boys, and you had some sense of orientation and decency, and you looked out for each other, and family was to be treated with respect, and property was to be treated with respect. I guess I'm off on a tangent already on this thing, but it is amazing to me how people justify the destruction of other people's property, whether it's a business or a personal property. There is nothing that I can think of in life that justifies the right for someone to go out and tear down other people's property in the name of social justice. I don't get that. I really don't get that. I believe in respect for each other. And the way you get respect is you treat others with respect. And demanding respect is not going to get you respect, especially if you're destroying somebody else's property while you're at it. Well, I'm really on a tangent here, but I want to go off and talk about something that is really, really challenging for me. It's something that I deal with every day, and you probably are too, but your list of things that you deal with is so long, you haven't got to this one. And I really want to kind of up that ante a little bit with you to get you to put it on your list of things to think about. Because what is happening is that our kids are living in a unique time. And I really want to just back up and start with that conversation. Many of you know that I've written a book. By the way, you can buy that book at millionkids.org. But it's called Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. And we are preparing for a movie that will be, it's actually a documentary that'll be coming out in a couple, 3 months, we hope. It's been delayed because of COVID and trying to get access to places to film and even get talent and people to film with it. But it's coming, and I've seen pieces of it. I'm quite impressed with it already. The producer on that is Stephen Peak, and doing a great job of putting it together, especially in a difficult time. But the idea of societal shift is just to open your eyes as the public about the world that you are parenting in or grandparenting, and the world that your children are growing up in, regardless of politics and policy and things that are happening. Your child is growing up in the most unique time in all of society when you think about it. And that means you are parenting in the most unique time in all of society. Because of 5G, for the first time in history, the entire world will be connected before the end of 2021. We're right on track for that. And it is really, really amazing when you stop and think what that means to your child. You know, your child will have more opportunity than any generation that was ever before them because it's not limited to, a 12 block area where you might live and know your neighbors. Nobody even goes in to apply for a job online or excuse me, in person anymore. Everything is online. And that is the world your child will live in. They will look for jobs online. They may get their education online. And let's hope that it's a quality education with reputable people because they, in addition to having more information, they will have more opportunity, but they will also have more opportunity to make mistakes or to be taken advantage of, or to be seduced and groomed into some sort of sexual activity, or even worse, money laundering or drug selling or getting involved with gangs or cartels. And this is what we mean by a world without borders. I want you to think about the evolution of apps a little bit and the apps that your child now lives with. You know, it was only about 3 years that most of us was on Facebook. Some of us got taken off. And some of us got taken off not voluntarily. We're still trying to understand what we did wrong on that, but apparently we stepped on somebody's toes because we were censored as an organization and me as a person. We are back on, but we have taken our training in-house. I never again am going to allow an app company to decide who I can speak to and who I can train to. And so, but if you think about the evolution of apps on Facebook, you got to pick and choose your followers, that now they pick and choose for you on who can be on there. But just remember, 18 months ago, you got to decide who was going to follow you and who you were going to follow. Now, of course, Jeff Zuckerberg and all of his minions make all that decision. So it isn't always something that is voluntary. But my point is, you had a small group of people, but now we have what we call mass audience live streaming apps. In other words, think about Instagram. There are millions of people, billions maybe, simultaneously. Probably, I don't know that they're all using it simultaneously, but Instagram has more than 1 billion followers. And they're under different categories, making comments and forwarding comments and like that. Newspapers are a thing of the past. Trying to get information locally is a bit of a challenge. But even that, if you try, very seldom does anybody take a newspaper anymore. They get it online. And by the way, the local newspapers make sure that you either pay for it or you don't get it. It's that simple. And I suppose that's how the old world worked. But think about the progression of social media and how it has progressed, because now we have what we call mass audience live streaming. These are apps like TikTok and Like and Byte and even many of your big video games. I was looking at a couple of new ones today that I had not heard of, and literally you are dealing with over 100 people you don't know. And you're going up against them all the time. In the same way with can't think of it right now. What is it? Fortnite. Thank you. Fortnite. That's another one that you're up against a lot of people, and so your child will automatically be in a world where they don't know anybody that they're talking to. I was thinking of the PUBG is one of them, and another one's Free Fire. And those are the two I was looking at today and how they're being used to trap our kids and involve our kids. And more importantly, how our kids are absolutely addicted to it because there's a never ending number of people that you're competing with. There are 100 at a time. You take them out, but then you start to talk with them and they influence you. And so where I want to go in this conversation today, and we're gonna go deep into this, is how these various apps are using the app companies are using the apps to influence our children and to make an impression. And our kids go willingly. I mean, absolutely ring and nose gone down the road, especially if it involves a high powered video game. Everybody wants to play, and I get that. And these kids are going to live in a world of technology, so you're not going to be able to take them out of it. So, how do we raise children that can be safe in this environment? My name is Opal Singleton. We're up against that break. We'll be right back.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Hey, there are many good restaurants in the Inland Empire, but really great restaurants are hard to find. Let me tell you about the Toasted Barrel in Corona. It's a trendy, upscale steakhouse with great pasta and seafood. It's a fantastic choice for birthdays and anniversaries or just that special night out with your loved one and friends. Inland Empire magazine has awarded them Best Restaurant and Brunch for the past 3 years. The owners, Ed and Shirley, are friendly and attentive to your needs. If you're a prime rib connoisseur, this place is for you. Go ahead and try it out. The Toasted Barrel, located at 1300 El Sobrante Road in Corona. Or Google them at Toasted Barrel to make reservations. I guarantee you're going to love it. Be sure and tell Ed and Shirley that Opal sent you. It will be a night you'll never forget.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sellers and buyers recognize that these low interest rates will not last. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and we are talking about the impact of social media on our young people. Now, the truth is, we're not ever going to get them off of there. That train has left the station, as they say. So I believe it's important to come alongside as a parent and have honest and open, serious dialogue with your child. I don't believe you're going to just get from here to there walking around with all your trackers and all your mirrored image of your apps and stuff. I'm not against those. I think that if you are buying, especially a very young person, someone under the age of, say, 14, there's somebody who has not completed puberty, and I connect using apps with whether or not they understand what adult sex is. Because the minute your child goes online, they are going to get an education about adult sex that is not going to be anything like yours. But one of the things I want to talk about, I've been reading a lot of articles, and I think that this is an important conversation to have with your child. Who are they talking to, and what are they saying to them? What is the real message being delivered in the conversation, and why is that person taking the time to have that message sent to your child? And I think that this is a very important conversation to have in the standpoint that most kids, because they grow up in this environment, they don't ever question a whole lot about who is on the other line. They're all absolutely confident that they're going to know if they're being catfished. And, they look at their parents like you're old fuddy duddies and you just don't get it. I bet you've heard that line before. You just don't get it, Mom. I've heard that line before. I don't care. I get it. I studied this stuff. I sat with parents whose kids didn't get it, and they ended up being blackmailed or worse, raped, or in some cases ended up committing suicide. And I see these cases, and they're absolutely tragic. And so the reason I want to have this verbal conversation out on the airway is to kind of open your thought processes and have those open thought process discussions with your child. I'm going to come back to these articles, but a couple of articles that have been really kind of eating away at this, a headline over here. I've tried to go right down the middle politically here. I think one of them is with Fox News and the other one is CNN, I think it is. Facebook under fire for encouraging border crisis with ads for human smugglers. That's one headline we're going to come back to. Here's another headline we're going to come back to. Border cartels are using TikTok, social media to recruit American teens to smuggle migrants for cash. But what started this conversation for me and why I wanted to bring it to you, I do all kinds of research. I've been doing this 13 years now. My brain is trash. I've read so many stories, you can't even believe it. But this headline was from a foreign country. It's actually about out of India and Bangladesh. And it started out with a headline, Bigo, BIGO. They are the parent company that owns Like, Likee. Now, if you don't know Likee, you probably should Google it and then talk to your child and look on their phone and see if they have Like on there. Like is very much like TikTok. Not as big, not as popular, but certainly used. These are what I call mass audience live streaming apps. They reach millions of people. Usually your profile is on and public if you're going to go viral. Now, you can have your profile off if your kid is saying, Mom, I'm only talking to people I know on there. Well, look at their profile. Is it on or off? If it is on, they are not talking to people they know. It can be off and just talk to a small group of people. But if you're going to go viral, which the idea of sending out all of these videos, and let me just back up on that and kind of calibrate your thinking on this subject. And that is, kids today, they don't email, they don't send letters, they text, they emoji, they put music with it, they put animation in it, and they're becoming like quite adept at becoming amateur movie makers. And there's nothing wrong with that if it's, wholly in their discussion, if it isn't all sexual and pornographic, which there is an entire category of pornography called animated video game character pornography. And so your kids are now talking in terms of very short videos. And the idea of the video is they want to go viral. So if you're doing not a Snapchat, what am I saying? TikTok. If you're doing a TikTok, then you're going to make a 15-second video and you're going to shoot it out there. And it's going to go to millions and millions of people if it's good and people accept it, you're going to go viral. And the thing of it is that it's tied back to their mobile phone. So they can send a text to the maker of the video. So TikTok was the first and most famous of two-way communications to millions of people that your child doesn't know. So I'm recommending that if your child's on there, they be old enough they should be old enough, let's get that English right, they should be old enough that they can make good cognitive decisions about adult sexual behavior, because they are going to be introduced to millions of people who are very clever. They make their living at tricking kids. Some of them are pedophiles, some of them are just monsters that like to tear up people's lives, and then some of them just think it's funny to trap a child. And so your child needs to be, if you're going to put your child in that arena, they need to be old enough to have the cognitive judgment to understand what's going to happen. Well, so back to my article from India, they're saying Bigo and other streaming apps are being used by criminals. Really? That could happen, honestly? I'm kidding, of course. A group of youths under the leadership of a Chinese national in Bangladesh was involved in laundering millions of dollars every month through live streaming apps such as Bigo Live, that's like TikTok. Criminal investigators said, and they named their names, and I couldn't pronounce them anyway. But so far, they have tracked down transactions of more than $1 billion in the bank and mobile finance service accounts of the arrestees and their accomplishment. They suspected the majority of the money was siphoned from the country. The young people are targeted of these rackets, and what is saying is that many are being lured through obscenity during live streaming. In other words, they start off with a picture of, a video, and maybe she's just got a little bit off her shoulder, or maybe he's just doing a little, mooning or something like that. And so they start with that, but then they say, they will enhance it, and then they say, I need more. I need more, or I'm going to hurt you or ruin you. Or if you will give me more, and this is more often what we're seeing now. I often talk about sextortion, which is blackmail with a photo. I need more sexual images, or I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt your family. I'm going to put this out in your school. I'm going to put it out on porn sites, and everybody's going to see it. And the blackmail begins. But this is a different kind of MO that we're seeing that's really more about luring them in. There is something there to join the live streaming is users have to top up big live diamonds. Now, as far as I can tell, those are MJOYs that connect you to cryptocurrency. And I started looking at live diamonds as a digital currency the local agents buy from foreign administrators through banks. So what they're doing is starting to entice kids by getting them to up the ante on their photos so that they can actually earn coins. And a lot of times it's just coins to play in a video game. Other times it is real money. Snapchat used to have Snap Cash, and they could monetize a selfie. We just saw almost 10 million videos taken down from Pornhub because they were offering our kids $40,000 a week if they would send in amateur pornography, and a bunch of our kids did. Well, in this case, they're using these video games and also and Byte and TikTok to get them in there to get the most big live diamonds, which are basically credits, online credits that represent cash. So this is involving a multi-billion-dollar money laundering taking place with these apps out of India, and the apps have been banned. I'm going to go deeper into this in a minute, but we are up against that break, so I'm going to ask you to stay with us here, and we're going to be right back. This is Opal Singleton, Exploited Crimes and Technology. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced, The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590, The Answer. Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton, and you can write to me at opal, O-P-A-L, at millionkids.org. And so right now, I'm talking about what took place in India, but it is not alone in India. In fact, India as a country has banned 59 apps, including TikTok, and they banned the popular game PUBG, which was a seriously addictive video game that our kids are using. So they've also now banned video sharing apps such as TikTok and like because of this human trafficking gang who used TikTok to lure in victims. So I'm reading from this article here, and they're saying many incidents have been reported in the past where the victims were lured in by the promise of shooting a TikTok or like video. Law enforcement officials have attributed to some extent these apps to the rise of juvenile gang culture in the country. So this is an interesting thing because in India, it's reached the stage. Now, keep in mind, India has billions of people. I don't know how many, but, it's very crowded there and very hard to make a living. And so what they're doing is getting young people early that are looking for jobs, looking to be discovered, looking to find a way to make money to support their family. And they lure them on TikTok, and then they set up a job interview in the city and the people disappear. And so that is how it's being used there. So as I begin to understand this, it is they're approaching like and the others and saying, look, you need to be held responsible for this. They're saying, irresponsible online behavior is an industry-wide concern and a shared responsibility. We're being proactive and on and on and on and on. Well, it is one of the challenges. One of the things I discovered in this article, it says mostly because its privacy settings are unsophisticated. Unlike, users can still watch video of people they've been blocked by, and that's a bit scary because the first thing your child will do is block somebody but not tell you. Any new like accounts will automatically have their locations set to public, which the users will have to change themselves. Now, that's changing a little bit in TikTok. It used to be that if you took a photo or a video in your bedroom, they could tell where you live. So Like is actually making an effort, as is TikTok. Like has banned more than 42,000 accounts due to violation, and around 8.7 million penalties were given this month. Well, here's the problem with all of this, is that you are allowing that app company to make the decision. And that is what is happening here in the U.S., is that we're having these laws that say you as an app company will be held responsible for your content. Well, it is an interesting situation because the app company doesn't post the content, you do. And so now legislation is saying to app companies that if someone posts negative content on your site and you don't do anything about it, then you are going to be held responsible. And it is based on that line of thinking that the app companies have said, I believe that many conservative people have dangerous thinking and we're going to take them off our air. And in fact, as you know, Amazon decided that 12 million people on Parler had dangerous thinking. That doesn't make sense to me. I've never seen 12 million people agree on anything, period. They disagree on just about everything. And so to take off 12 million people just to get even and claim it's because they have dangerous thinking is, I think, very, very disturbing. And I have this conversation all the time with my husband. Don't order from Amazon. Why should we order and support money with an organization that took 12 million free voices off there? Okay, some of them weren't good, some of them are. But that is the nature of all apps, and is to have different kinds of people on there. Here's the concern I have. As I've been studying all this, I'm going to take you back to a couple of articles. This one here has an excellent video with it. This one happens to be Fox News, and the headline is Border Cartels Use TikTok and Social Media to Recruit American Teens to Smuggle Migrants for Cash. So as it goes in, it says cartels at the southern border are targeting American teenagers on social media to get them to do the dirty work of smuggling illegal immigrants into the U.S., the latest sign of escalating chaos at the border. Now, some of you that have followed me for a long time know that I was talking about this 2 years ago, even under President Trump, that it came out that so many of the coyotes are all going out on WhatsApp, which is a Facebook-owned company, and it is often used in South America, and it is often used by cartels. And they were going out on WhatsApp and telling poor people, if you want to put your children in the caravan, go to Facebook and find out about the meeting that we're having and how you can put your child in there. So we know that they have been recruiting a lot of the unaccompanied minors and the families of them for a long time. But images obtained by Fox News, and they show the images on this article. Again, border cartels use TikTok and social media to recruit American teens. On there, the images obtained show the ads. They're actually buying ads. Now, Facebook says, well, you know, they don't know everything that's on there and like that. If you are putting an ad on Facebook, they have to approve it. And not only do they look at what you're posting, but if you're buying an ad, Facebook knows good and well what that ad says. They are showing the ads cartels are using on social media apps like TikTok, where they offer more than $3,000 to teens. A ride for teens and young adults to come drive smuggled migrants into the U.S. when they reach the border. So they are soliciting our kids to become coyotes. And trust me, they're not just bringing people. They're bringing drugs, and they're probably bringing guns, but I can't prove that. Here's some of the things that they're showing. Need 2 or 3 drivers to go through a checkpoint. Got another 6 left already crossed. Let me know ASAP for that easy cash. If they take it, the job is to get the migrants through the checkpoints and then drop-off location like a store parking lot, where the migrants are then picked up by someone trusted by the cartel and transferred to stash houses scattered along the border. So what they're doing is using social media to attract your kids to make some quick money by going out and picking these people up. You know, these people, many of the people crossing are good people, but they are traveling with coyotes, and they all look alike. You will not know which one is and isn't until your life is in danger. I recently was talking to someone who had known someone who came through with coyote, and they said they had like 45 people in a house holding them, and across the dining room table were all these knives, all had blood on them, to make a statement to the people in the room, you are not free to go, and that at any given time, your life could be in danger. But now they're using this, Facebook, to recruit our kids. They're buying the ads and paying for the ads. And all the time they're taking down organizations like myself that are fighting against people who exploit our children. There were 172,000 migrant encounters in March alone. Authorities have estimated there are more than 1,000 that got away, people who got into the U.S. by sneaking past the border every day. That's each day. So that's like 30,000. Sources previously told Fox News that smugglers would often dump children in one part of the border so adult migrants can sneak past as border control is overwhelmed dealing with the children. They will often get through unfinished gaps in the border wall. The sources told Fox News that recruited kids often use their parents' SUVs to make these trips to ferry migrants without them knowing. Hey, Mom, can I borrow the car for the weekend? Yeah, where are you going? I'm going to pick up a little cash. One teenager's mother, a nurse, started crying when she got a call from authorities about the business her daughter was conducting. But with authorities so overwhelmed, teens are often getting little more than a slap on the wrist. Details show that months-long crisis, that this is a crisis at the border. So, but my point is that they are using the media, they're using social media that our kids are absolutely comfortable with. And now that they're in mass audience live streaming, they have no way to verify who they're really talking to. This was a girl who borrowed the family car to go to Tijuana or El Paso, wherever they were, and pick up migrants and bring them in for the cartel so she could pick up some extra money. Hello, Mom and Dad, we need to talk. This is Opal Singleton. We'll be right back.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com, or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at Remax Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens. And she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at Remax Realty 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.
AM 590. The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. So we're talking about the importance of having a conversation with your child because this is very real. I'm going to read you one more thing and then I'm going to talk about how I think this needs to be handled, just based on the fact that I've sat with so many parents and I've sat with so many kids, and it is a tragedy when a child makes a mistake online, and they're going to do that. Here's the headline. This is a little bit older, but it says Facebook under fire for encouraging border crisis with ads for human smugglers. So it's about the same kind of thing. This is the newest representative on Capitol Hill, Kat Kamak, for a representative. She's a Republican from Florida. She says there that she sent a scathing letter to Zuckerberg to silence because they're trying to silence conservative views, but at the same time openly allowing cartels to advertise online. She just came back from the southern border, according to this article. She's saying Facebook's role in this crisis at the border is urgent and must be addressed immediately. But what was interesting here is that she went on to say she saw firsthand the historically high number of migrants crossing the border. Agents informed her that cartels and human smugglers use Facebook to advertise. She said the migrants told her that they relied on Facebook to make the payments to the cartel. for illicit smuggling services. So I think that that's very important if that accusation is actually accurate. She goes on to say here that, and she's showing on this article, if you want to try to Google the article and see, let me read you the headline again: Facebook under fire for encouraging border crisis with ads for human smuggling. And she's showing the ads on Facebook to get people to, she got screenshots right here. One advertisement for crossing into the United States by way of San Antonio. Even more troubling was the fact that people are visiting these pages. Facebook provided additional posts and pages of related content. So they're not only allowing the ad, but they're connecting them to other ads. And I can guarantee you they're charging for it. Of course, Facebook comes off with, we prohibit human smuggling content, blah, 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 blah. It is an interesting time in this business for me because I study all this stuff. I try to condense it. I try to put it in some palatable way that you can see what is going around us. But here's what I think. I think that this generation of kids are going to be the first generation with more information offered to them than any generation, but probably less truth. They're also going to be connected to more human beings than we have ever met in our entire lifetime. They probably could do that in a week, because they will live in a home without walls and a world without borders. They will. Something like 85% of teenagers sleep with their phone. That's what I mean, a home without walls. At 3 a.m, people that they have never, ever met will come in and influence them. So it is like you literally live now in a home without walls. So what do we do? You know, I see parents who just start grabbing the phones. And quite frankly, if you have, especially if you have a prepubescent child, I struggle when I see 7, 8, 9-year-old kids on phones. There are many ways to communicate without having a smartphone. There are many. But it is important to have that conversation because they're going online talking to people before they've ever had the adult sex talk or even know what adult sex is all about, let alone how blackmail works or being smart enough to stand against one or more pedophiles. In other shows I've done, these pedophiles are forming large-scale rings. We had one with can't think of his name right now, but there were 9 different pedophiles and they had thousands of victims, and not one of those kids knew they were talking to 9 different men in the course of that. So I think that while it is important to say it's my phone and I'm paying for it, but I believe in you and I'm going to trust you with it, but we are going to talk about this together. You and me, this is a changing time. There are no rules for this. There are no paths for this. And so the real bottom line is, are you mature enough to understand when you're near a trap? And most of our kids are not, especially if they're a male kid and hot and heavy in one of those video games where they're trying to eliminate 99 other people, and there's all kinds of pornography, animated pornography in the video game. Their judgment, when you're 11, 12 years old, your judgment doesn't always come from your brain set. And so it's a difficult discussion, but I think you need to pull up these articles and you need to talk with your kids. Here's what I know about kids. I haven't met a kid yet that wanted to be violated. I have also know that almost every kid I've ever met swears up and down it's never going to happen to them. So how do we teach our kids to mature in a way where they don't get hurt or the rest of your family? Remember, if you have live streaming on video gaming, your entire life is on live streaming, and they can see your other children and they can see in your home. And so you need to remember it is a world without borders when you have that kind of gaming going on. So how do we do it? I think you have a conversation to say, there are no rules for this. So I've got to know that you have good judgment. I've got to know that you want to be a leader, especially for your younger brothers and sisters and your little cousins, because you are the most important generation of kids that have ever lived. How this generation of teenagers learn to use technology with respect and responsibility will set the stage for all future generations. We are just getting started. If we come back here this time next year, this conversation will seem amateurish. It really will. That's how fast our technology is changing to connect us. We are getting into virtual reality pornography in video gaming. So then how do you teach a child to have a respectful relationship? That sex is between two people that care deeply about each other and are doing it in a respectful and healthy way and not allow themselves to become violated or abused in the hopes and prayer that somebody will think they're nice when it's all over. So it is a very difficult time in discussion. I've written a couple of books on it if you're interested. One is Societal Shift, and the other is Seduced, the Grooming of America's Teenagers. They are for sale at millionkids.org. I will be happy to sign them for you and send them off to you. Read Seduced first and then Societal Shift, but it will help you understand the complexities of this world. I can't really tell you where this is going to go. I can tell you that there's a lot of things that are not fair and are not right, but I also know that I can't fix them. I can't make Facebook start to like conservatives and put them back on any more than I can make Facebook to quit selling ads to cartels. But what I can do is educate you, mom and dad, and teenagers to understand what is at stake here. Why does somebody want to offer you money to go to a border and make some money? Because when it's all said and done, you too will be a person that's violated and will be victimized. That these guys play for keeps. And what they're trying to do is connect to you and get you indebted to them so that your life will change forever. If you know anybody that's been trafficked or sextorted or social media exploitation, the reporting hotline, and you can do it anonymously, you can do that, 1-888-3737-888. 1-888-3737-888. You can write to me at opal, O-P-A-L, at millionkids.org. I do want to take a minute to say thank you to each and every one of you that have sent us money or supported us financially, especially over the last year. I can't tell you how much it means to me. It is just absolutely the world. We have had so many kids that were violated online because they were online, and we had so much more perpetrators, and the level of violence that took place on people that were in traffic was greatly increased. So if you want to support this work financially, you can do that by going to Million Kids, MILLION, millionkids.org. If you're old-fashioned, there's a P.O. box on there. You can write a check. I still like checks, okay? You can also just use your credit card, or, you can actually text us the donation, and we will appreciate it. This is Opal Singleton. I hope you have a great week. Put your arms around your kids and tell them how much you love them and how proud you are. Look at your spouse and tell them how important they are to you. This is the way that you keep your life together. You folks have a great week. I'll see you next Saturday at 3 o'clock on AM 590.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift. and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.